There's a mechanic in Osaka who's been deep in Toyota and Honda engines for 22 straight years. This guy isn't some weekend warrior. He's the one other mechanics call when things get tricky. And get this, he owns 3 cars that most people can only dream of keeping alive this long. A Toyota Land Cruiser with 340,000 miles on the original engine, a Honda Accord sitting at 280,000 miles, and a Nissan Skyline with 310,000 miles. Every single one of them is still running strong on the factory engine. No rebuilds, no major drama, just smooth, reliable power day after day. His colleagues in the workshop finally couldn't take it anymore. They cornered him during lunch and asked straight up, "What oil are you putting in these things? What's the secret?" His answer made the whole room go quiet. He doesn't use any of those expensive premium brands that sit on the top shelf at every auto parts store. Hasn't touched them in over a decade. When they pushed him for more, he walked over to his locker, pulled out a thick folder stuffed with engine teardown photographs, laid them out on the workbench, and everything changed for every mechanic standing there that day. Today I'm going to show you exactly what he showed them, because a Japanese automotive engineer with more than 20 years of hands-on engine analysis experience just finished a study that the big oil marketing companies would rather keep quiet. He took used oil samples from real Japanese vehicles running premium expensive oils and compared them directly against identical vehicles running mid-range and even budget oils. Same engines, same mileage intervals, same driving conditions, city traffic, highway runs, everything matched. Then they tore the engines down completely and looked at what was actually happening inside the cylinders, on the bearings, on the pistons, and on the valve train. The results completely destroy the idea that higher price always means better protection. But before we get into the numbers, let's talk about what engine oil actually does inside your motor, because the fancy labels and marketing talk are designed to make you feel safe without ever explaining what real protection looks like at the metal level. Engine oil has 4 main jobs. It lubricates all the moving metal parts so they don't grind directly against each other. It cleans by picking up combustion byproducts, dirt, and metal particles and carrying them to the filter. It cools hot spots that the coolant system can't reach. And it protects against corrosion by creating a chemical shield between the metal and any moisture or acids that form during combustion. From the cheapest store-brand oil to the most expensive full synthetic on the shelf, every proper oil does these 4 things to some degree. The question nobody in marketing wants you to ask is exactly how much better the expensive stuff really performs in real everyday driving conditions, and whether that difference is actually worth paying 3 or 4 times more. This Japanese study answered that question with hard physical evidence from torn-down engines, and the answer is going to surprise a lot of you watching right now. They tested 6 different categories of oil across the most common Japanese engines: Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, and Nissan Altima motors, the cars you see everywhere in daily use. The groups were premium full synthetics priced above $12 a quart, mid-range full synthetics between $6 and $10, budget full synthetics between $4 and $6, the OEM dealership oils from Toyota, Honda, and Nissan, high-end racing oils, and finally the exact oils the mechanics in the study were actually running in their own personal high-mileage cars. Let's start with the premium tier: Mobil 1, Castrol Edge, Pennzoil Platinum. These are the ones with the big Formula One sponsorships, titanium technology claims, and Pure Plus marketing. They cost $12 to $16 per quart at the counter, and the advertising budget behind them is enormous. In the study, they looked at Toyota 2FE engines after 50,000 miles on these oils with changes every 7,500 miles. Cylinder walls showed wear right in the middle of manufacturer specs. Bearings looked exactly like you'd expect after proper lubrication. Piston ring grooves had almost no deposits, and the valve train was clean with normal wear patterns. These oils absolutely work. Nobody is saying they don't. The real question is how much better they are and whether it's worth the extra money for normal driving. Now here comes the part the premium marketing teams don't love. The mid-range full synthetics, think Valvoline Advanced, good store-brand synthetics, and similar quality options priced $6 to $9 a quart, were run in identical Honda K24 engines under the exact same conditions. After 50,000 miles, the cylinder wall wear was within just 2% of the premium results. Bearing surfaces were basically identical. Piston deposits were only slightly higher under the microscope, but nowhere near enough to hurt performance or longevity in any real way. Valve train wear was the same. A 2% difference in cylinder wear after 50,000 miles on an engine built to last 300,000 miles is basically noise. These mid-range oils were giving practically the same protection at less than half the price. The budget full synthetics, the ones in the big jugs on the bottom shelf for $4 to $6 a quart, were tested in Nissan QR20 engines. Cylinder wear came in 4 to 6% higher than premium, but still well inside factory tolerances. Bearings showed a little more wear, but nothing alarming. Piston deposits were noticeably higher, which makes sense because the additive packages aren't as strong on cleaning and suspension over long intervals. 6% higher wear sounds scary until you do the math. On a 300,000-mile engine, that means it would theoretically reach the same wear level around 282,000 miles instead of 300,000. For most people who trade or sell around 150,000 miles, that difference doesn't exist. The real issue with budget oils is the extra deposits at very high mileage above 200,000, which can slowly increase oil consumption. That's where stepping up just a bit in quality pays off. The finding that made every mechanic in that Osaka workshop set their coffee down was about the OEM dealership oils. Toyota Genuine, Honda Genuine, Nissan Genuine, the ones sold at the dealer for $11 to $14 a quart. Most owners assume these must be the absolute best because they come straight from the factory. The study showed they use Group 3 base stocks, same as most good mid-range aftermarket synthetics. They meet the manufacturer specs exactly, but they aren't chemically better than quality mid-range options. They're just branded with the car maker's name. The Osaka mechanic figured this out years ago. That's why he stopped buying OEM oil a long time back. So what were the mechanics in the study actually using in their own cars? Quality mid-range full synthetic, changed on a slightly shorter interval than the maximum the manufacturer recommends. Not the cheapest, not the most expensive, just smart, consistent choices. The logic is straightforward. Oil breaks down in two main ways. The base oil oxidizes over time and heat, and the additive package gets used up. Premium oils do resist oxidation longer thanks to better base stocks, and that advantage is real. But additives deplete at pretty similar rates across brands. By changing a good mid-range synthetic every 6,000 miles instead of stretching to 7,500, you keep the additives fresh and eliminate the small disadvantages. A typical Toyota Camry owner using mid-range synthetic at 6,000-mile intervals spends around $180 a year on oil changes. The same owner using premium at 7,500 miles spends about $280. The measured engine wear difference between those two approaches in the study? Statistically, zero. That extra $100 a year can buy you better air filters, fresh wiper blades, a fuel system cleaner, and still leave money in your pocket. Racing oils like Mobil 300V, Redline, and Pennzoil Signature Series deserve a quick, honest word too. These PAO and ester-based oils are fantastic for track days, sustained high RPM, mountain roads in a Civic Type R, or heavily modified cars. They give real benefits in extreme heat and load. But for the same car driven normally to work and back every day, most of that expensive performance advantage never gets used. Normal street driving simply doesn't create the conditions where those oils shine over a solid Group 3+ synthetic. The Osaka mechanic's personal rule, and the one the engineering study backed up completely, is this: buy the best quality mid-range full synthetic your budget comfortably allows. Change it a little earlier than the maximum interval. Never run the absolute cheapest stuff long-term because the cleaning difference is real at high mileage. And never pay full premium prices for normal street driving because that extra base oil protection is mostly unused headroom. Let's look at the 10-year reality for a typical Toyota, Honda, or Nissan owner. Premium full synthetic at maximum intervals will cost you roughly $2,800 in oil over 10 years. A quality mid-range synthetic changed more conservatively runs about $1,800. The difference in actual engine wear between those choices under identical conditions? Statistically zero according to the measurements. You keep $1,000 in your pocket, enough for 2 full sets of tires, a complete brake job, or several years of other important maintenance that actually moves the needle on reliability. Look, the expensive oils aren't scams. They perform exactly the way they're advertised when you really need that extra margin. The real misleading part is the marketing that makes you believe anything less will destroy your engine, because the physical evidence from these teardowns says otherwise for normal everyday Japanese cars. Use a good mid-range full synthetic. Change it on a sensible schedule. Don't stretch the maximum intervals, especially in hot climates, stop-and-go traffic, or dusty conditions like we often have here. Put the money you save into the maintenance items that truly keep your car alive for hundreds of thousands of miles. Fresh coolant, transmission fluid changes, good air filters, spark plugs, and regular inspections. If this video changed how you think about the oil going into your engine, do me a favor right now and hit that like button. Share it with every Toyota, Honda, or Nissan owner you know. They need to see this too. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because we're dropping more real-world car care knowledge like this every week. And comment below with your country and tell me what your current car is and what oil you've been using. I read every single comment. Let's talk about it. See you in the next one. Keep your engines happy and your wallet full. Drive safe.